Well, that was a boring race. Wait a minute, what's this? Oh no, Max has got a steady wheel. Come on, Lando. Yes. Oh my goodness, Max, what are you doing? Oh no, they've made contact. Oh no. Is Max going to try and find his inner Schumacher? Oh yes, he is. He's trying to push him off the side. Oh God. George Russell won the race. Ugh. Hello everyone and welcome back to another Hookster Talks. Yes, I've got my Lando shirt on today because, oh my goodness, what a race that was. It looked like it was going to be another boring race to the start. I started to sort of nod off a little bit, you know. We had Fernando Alonso, not quite sure where he was going. Did he fall asleep at the wheel, the silly old duffer? I'm not quite sure, but he definitely made quite a bit of contact there. Then, of course, we had both the Alpines fighting with each other, Esti Besti. Yes, and, you know, it was just... that was okay, but it wasn't anything too exciting, and I thought, oh my goodness, another boring race at Austria. And then of course we had those last 16 laps. Oh my god, yes, Maxi boy Verstappen comes into the pits, he gets a sticky wheel gum, has to wait so he doesn't actually impede Lando Norris, and that means he comes out of the pits just 2 seconds ahead of Lando Norris. And then the fight was on, the battle was on, because Lando Norris was on fresh tyres because he saved a set. And unfortunately, Max Verstappen was on scrub tyres, so they didn't have that new feel about them. And oh my goodness, what a battle it was. Lando and Max. And I don't think Max has had that much pressure on him since possibly 2021 with Lulu. Yes, I don't think he's had that much pressure, to be honest. And basically, he cracked. Yes, he cracked. Several laps before that, as they were going up that hill into that very tight right-hander, you know, he was moving across as Lando was coming up the hill, which you're not supposed to do, but you know, he didn't get a penalty for it, so it's all good. It's a bit contentious, but we'll let it go. But then of course there was a situation where he came up so close behind Max that he actually pushed him well wide, and everyone was sort of saying, oh, he's got to get that position back, but he didn't, because obviously it's Max Verstappen. And then, of course, we had the incident. Yes, the incident. They were fighting like crazy, and who won in the end? Well, none of them did, because it ended with a crash. Lando into Max. Max got a puncher, but then, of course, Max... being Max Verstappen, he couldn't let it lie, could he? He couldn't let it lie. He suddenly, from nowhere, found his inner Schumacher, and decided he was going to, you know, try and ram Lando Norris off the track. Now, a lot of you will say, yes, he had a puncher. Yes, but that doesn't stop you from driving in a straight line. And he clearly wasn't driving in a straight line. Puncher just means that you've got to go very, very slowly and sort of get yourself back to the pit. It really doesn't impede you sort of drifting off to the right and pushing Lando off in an attempt to try and stop him from getting any more progress in the race. As it was to no avail anyway, because Lando had to retire because he had too much damage to his car. But at that time, of course, Max didn't know that. And the thing was, it was completely unnecessary. Max Verstappen is way ahead of Lando Norris on points. He could have just taken the hit and given the 6 points away and just let Lando past but no, it's Max Verstappen. And that is the problem. We've seen it so many times with top drivers. They just will not yield in any situation whatsoever, because they're always thinking about, oh, what if I've lost those 6 points and I lose the championship right at the end because of those 6 points or 7, 8 points that I lost. That's all they think about, you see. But, you know, all you have to do is yield. Let Lando go past. He would have still finished second. Lando would have won the race. And I'm pretty sure Max would still have won the championship at the end. But yes, as I say, it just reminded me of 1994 with Damon Hill and Michael Schumacher. Now, before anyone starts losing their snizzles, I would like to say that whenever I mention Michael Schumacher, I'm always very, very much aware of what I say. So I'm talking now about Michael Schumacher, the racing driver, in his racing career, not how Michael Schumacher is right now, because of course we still don't know. We have no news on Michael Schumacher's condition, and so I am talking purely about Michael Schumacher back in the day when he was a racing driver. And of course he was well known for tactics like this. He did it twice in his career, once with Damon Hill, which actually ruined his championship chances, in the final round at Adelaide. He completely, destroyed his suspension, and it was completely deliberate. You could see, because he came across the track and smashed into Damon to stop him from winning the championship. Yes, and of course he did it again in 1997, right at the end with Jack Villeneuve. And that time it didn't work because he just sort of hit his side pod and ended up, I think, in the gravel, and that was, game over for him. But Max was showing a little bit, I have to say, at that incident. He was showing a little bit there. He'd already got a puncher. He should not have been trying desperately to get back onto the track to try and get Lando. I actually saw that moment, and I said to myself, oh, is he going to try and push Lando off? Is he going to try and do a Schumacher? And yes, he tried to. As I say, it was no avail anyway, because Lando had to retire the car because there was just too much damage. But he didn't need to do any of that whatsoever. He really didn't need to do any of that. He could have just sat there, finished in second place. Lando Norris could have won the race. Lando, after the race, was pretty upset. I could see, obviously, there was another thing, that he wasn't very well either, because you could tell in his voice he had quite a bit of a cold, which seemed to be getting worse during the weekend. So he wasn't that well, but he seemed very upset during the interviews with Max Verstappen, and he actually said that, if Max apologises for that, then it's all good. But if he doesn't think that he's done anything wrong, then I would have to sort of reevaluate our sort of relationship. Well, unfortunately, Lando, I've got to say, there is no relationship in a Formula One driver. When you're on the track, there's only one person you're concerned about, and that's yourself getting in front of you and winning the race. That's all any of the drivers are concerned about. So there is no friendship actually on the track. If there's any friendships that evolve, it's outside of the track. But once they're on the track, no, that doesn't happen. So yeah, I say Lando looked very, very upset, and I was very, very sort of surprised about that. Very surprised indeed. So yes, but of course the biggest news that almost made me faint was the fact that Mr. Bottlejob himself, George of the Russell, won the bloody race. I couldn't believe it. Obviously it was the result of the incident, but the person who crosses the line in the lead is the winner. So you can't take anything away from George of the Russell. I'm not even going to attempt to do so either, because he won the race fair and square. So congratulations to Mr. Bottlejob himself. I saw him cross the line and I went, did he just win that? And of course Lulu was up there as well, and I was like, oh my God, he got a 5-second penalty, didn't he? So yeah, it was just incredible. It really was absolutely incredible, and well done for Mercedes. I think that's the first win now since, was it 2022, 2021? It's been a long time coming. I'm sure Lulu would have preferred that it was him doing that, as a sort of last sort of attempt before he joins Ferrari next year. He would have loved that, but unfortunately he wasn't in a position to win the race. But George of the Russell was in a position to win the race, and won it he did. And I was like, nah, that's got to be a fluke. But anyway, well done to George for winning the race. I love the radio commentary where Toto was talking to him. He's going, please don't talk to me. That was just classic. I was like, yeah, that's it. You tell him. Shut up, Toto. With all your fucking bullshit, because that's all he comes out with, really. It's all bullshit from Toto. And yeah, I did like that bit, because apparently when Toto sent that message out, he was going into a corner, and that's why he was saying, please don't talk to me. I'm trying to drive the bloody car here. Sounds a bit like Mark in the F1 games, when he's constantly in your ear hole telling you any manner of shit that you're not really interested in. But yeah, so I did enjoy that from George of the Russell, showing a little bit of backbone, and that was very surprising indeed, because as we know, he is basically known as being Bottle Job George. But yes, fantastic. So yes, before the last 16 laps, I would give the race a 3 out of 10, because it was basically going nowhere, absolutely nowhere. So 3 out of 10, but just purely for those last 16 crazy laps of the Grand Prix, I'm going to give it a 7.5, maybe even an 8 out of 10, just for 16 laps. Yeah, because it was just incredible. It really was. And it was edge of your seat stuff for quite a few laps there with Lando and Maxi Boy Verstappen. It really was edge of your seat stuff from starting to look a little bit like old Formula One back in the day before it's gone all sanitised and bullshitty and crap. Just for a moment there was a glimpse, there was a glimmer of the old Formula One. Now, we have seen this more than once or twice this season. And don't forget, at the start of the season, I predicted that this season was going to be a whitewash for Max Verstappen. It certainly hasn't been. I think he's still going to win it quite comfortably, but he certainly had the run of, people having a go at him. And I love it. I love it. So it's great to see. As I say, I still think Max will win the championship by a huge margin, to be honest, but he's certainly not going to win it with 9 races to go. That's definitely not going to happen. But I still think he'll win it. But yeah, it's been a lot better season than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be another snooze fest completely, because nothing's really changed. Now the drivers even moved, so I just thought that's good. But no, 2 or 3 of the races so far, how many have we had? 11? 2 or 3 of the races so far have been very exciting, in Canada especially. Yes. So I like it. I like it because all these exciting races, of course, will be put on Sky during the winter break in like 10 years' time, because, they'll be classed as classics. And we certainly have been very short on classic races for the past couple of years, haven't we, really? Let's face it. Not since 2021, really, have we had any sort of classic races. So it's good that we've got another few to go into the pot, because I can tell you now, they're not going to be repeating many of the 24 and 23 season in 10 years' time on Sky, are they? Not really. I can't see it. Not the boring ones anyway. They always go for the exciting ones, don't they? And this has definitely been a year which has surprised me. Very surprised me. And of course, we're going to go into next year where we're going to have even more surprises with a huge amount of drivers changing teams, which is going to add even more excitement into the mix. And I love it. And I love it. So there you go. Once again, congratulations for George Russell for winning the race. Commiserations to Fernando Alonso for clearly falling asleep at the wheel. He's getting old. He needs a nap now in the afternoon. That's the trouble. He needs a nap in the afternoon. He really shouldn't be out there racing. Like I do as well. I need a nice little 20 minutes nap in the afternoon. So maybe they could start the races a little bit earlier just for Fernando, so he's got enough time to still get his nap in. Maybe that would be the answer. I don't know what he was doing there. That was just crazy, absolutely crazy. But anyway, so that was, in a nutshell, in less than 15 minutes, the race at Austria. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Basically, what you thought about the Max Verstappen and the Lando Norris incident. I'm be very, very happy to hear your thoughts. Do you think Max was at fault? Do you think Lando Norris was at fault? That's another thing. I always like to have 2 sides of any argument. And I always say to anyone, if you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments, because I love that. I really do. Because I'd hate to think that I sit here saying things and everyone goes, oh yes, you're so right, Dave, everything you say is so... I mean, that doesn't happen. Have you seen my comments? But I'd hate to think that, that's what happens, because, yeah, if you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments. As long as you're not, personally attacking me, I will always reply to your point of view and say, whether I think you're right or not, which, is entirely up to you, because that is your point of view as opposed to my point of view. Anyway, I've been rambling. This has been basically just under 15 minutes. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. And I will catch you in the next video.